All praises due to the Most High, family. We back with another Acres anime review. I just finished watching season 2, episode 5 of Frieren, gang. And I mean, this has been a solid run so far in season 2 for Frieren. I've literally enjoyed every episode. This one was like, this episode was kind of split in two, but obviously the next episode, the second half of this episode is going to carry on into the next one. But so first half of the episode, family, we traversing through the Northern Plateau, right? And we stop by a town, and Frieren is in a hurry, which we know is unusual for Frieren, right? And last time she was trying to get out of a town quickly, she knew someone was trying to catch her for a favor. And that's what happened again in this episode, family. Right now, before I get into it, honestly though, this whole episode's like, maybe it wasn't the major theme, but a consistent theme in both halves of this episode was that time is money. Time is relative, right? So, first half of the episode. So this dwarf, he finds Frieren, and he was familiar with her from his last party. And he's asking about Hyder, right? The priest. AKA Fern's adopted father, right? And because the dwarf likes drinking, that's why he's asking about Hyder. He's basically coming to Frieren like, hey, yo, where's my old drinking buddy? And she tells him, oh, he's gone. And so this guy feels like it's too late. Okay, so what are we getting at? He's asking Frieren to help him locate this legendary liquor. What was it called? Boshaft, right? There's this legendary liquor called Boshaft. And this dwarf has been mining, digging underground for 200 years looking for this liquor. He recently found a giant stone tablet, and it says, Boshaft, the most legendary and most delicious liquor of all time. And it's written in ancient Elvish, right? Which means, because Frieren is an elf, right? So she already knows what's up. Fern reads the tablet for the audience. And so this is how we learn what Boshaft is, or what the legend of Boshaft is. Frieren says, hey man, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. It's gonna take too long. Oh, and the problem, family, is he's been mining, but there's a door. So he's for sure confident that that Boshaft is behind this door, but there's a barrier. This is why he's asking Frieren for help. She says it's gonna take me 3 months to get rid of this barrier. And these youngins, Fern and Stark, they're not gonna like that. 3 months to them is like, a lifetime. But he says, I'll pay you. And Fern is like, I'm sorry, Frieren is not interested in the money. She's like, nope, sorry. The money's not worth it. I'm not even gonna think about it. We're off. But Stark and Fern have a very different opinion. They're like, hey, that's a lot of money. We're gonna be very comfortable if we secure those funds. So to them, now here's the theme again, family. Time is money, and time is relative. Previously, definitely in season 1, Stark and Fern would have been like, oh, 3 months is gonna be a long time. Oh God. And then there's no telling with Frieren, because it could be another month or so. She likes to slow play it, right? Or at least Frieren is not concerned with time the same way that they are. And so this is why Frieren makes that assumption about them. But they make the judgment call in real time. No, we're gonna take him up on that offer. We're staying for 3 months. We're gonna get the barrier. And Stark is kind of like he's a little interested in drinking Boshaft also. Now, what was Frieren tipped off on? She recognized the author of this tablet, Milliard. And so she has a flashback. She warns us. She says, hey, it's not going to be worth it, but we go for it anyway, at least in terms of, she's thinking the liquor's not, she's explaining that the liquor's not going to be good, but we're at least making the determination that it's worth it, at least for the money. Now, 2 flashbacks happen for this instance. Frieren has a flashback of Milliard in which she explains that Milliard is different from other elves and that she really hasn't been searching for anything over the course of her very long extended lifespan, right? She's really just been sitting idly the whole time staring off into space. And so out of this negative energy, I don't know. I mean, she's like playing a prank kind of on whoever falls for it. So she is actually drinking Boshaft, but she thinks it's gross. So she, in her sick and twisted mind, she creates this idea that she's gonna create a legend behind Boshaft, even knowing that it's terrible, hoping that somebody wastes their time for it. Second flashback to Hyder, because Frieren didn't want to do this time because last time she didn't want to do it. It wasn't going to be worth it. She knows about Boshaft, and she didn't want Hyder to be disappointed. So she asked him, Hyder, what would have happened if we spent your whole lifetime searching for something that ended up to be terrible? And Hyder said he would laugh it off. And that's exactly what happened, family. We find it. It's plentiful. We have an abundance of it. And everybody tastes it, and it is terrible. But at least we're tasting it together, family. And so that was the moral of the story there. Second half of the episode. Now we're moving further into the Northern Plateau. We reach this trading company that Frieren is familiar with. But she's not expecting, she's expecting that they're powerful, they have influence. And so she wants to go in and get what she needs. And, it's less of a barren area, right? The Northern Plateau is a treacherous landscape. And so this is kind of a comfortable spot. But she doesn't want to draw too much attention. Lo and behold, they have a whole wanted poster for her because she's incurred this debt that the royal person in charge is wanting to, collect from Frieren. This stems from, the guys in charge now. It was his grandfather who Frieren did business with before, and so he gave Frieren and her party funds and said, "Pay back at your leisure." Well, 2 generations later, she's still not paid back. This grandson is like, nah, you're running that check back, buddy. Kind of, but not really. He really uses this as leverage to ask Frieren for a favor. And so it's a logistical company. They are involved in trade, and they're needing more funds at this moment, and they're hoping that they can find silver in this mine. So he's using Frieren. Frieren leaves this meeting thinking she's going to be enslaved for 300 years. It was a funny scene. She says, "This is the end of my journey, guys. I owe him 300 years of labor in the mine." So Stark and Frieren are obviously freaking out. But really, again, this guy's just using leverage over Frieren. He's not really concerned about time. Time is relative. Time is money. He doesn't really want to employ her or enslave her for 300 years. He's just like, hey, help my guys in the mine find the silver, point us in the most efficient direction, and that should put us in a much stronger financial position, and we all benefit. And so that's what happens. We strike silver, and Frieren's free to go. All love, all praise is due to the Most High. Peace and love.